It ain't easy being me, but the same for you. People always looking at me like she ain't got a clue. Yeah, I'm corny as they come, but I'm pretty deep. Marching at the sound of his tongue, then I hit them knees. I'm unpopular, yeah, I'm unpopular. She's unpopular, yeah, she's unpopular. It's unpopular, yeah, it's unpopular. It's unpopular, it's yeah. It's unpopular. Hello and welcome, y'all. I've entered the chat, the YouTube chat. I was not invited. I've entered the chat and no one invited me, but hey, here I am. No, but for real, thank you for joining in. This is a new YouTube channel. This is a new show. Let me tell you about the time that I didn't want to start a YouTube channel. No, for real, y'all, I didn't want to do this. I am solely doing this out of obedience to God. I did not want to start a YouTube channel, but here I am, starting a YouTube channel. No, I didn't want to do it ultimately because of pride, and fear and a whole host of other things. But ultimately, when you really think about it, it was pride. And between last year and this year, y'all, God really had to deal with me on that. It was crazy. I was like, I don't have pride, not me. Like, I don't deal with pride. I deal with a lot of things. I'm messed up. I'm a mess. Get over it. But I'm a mess. But like, I don't deal with pride though. And he's like, oh yes, you do. And when he started to show me all those reasons and why, he started to unfold it, y'all, it wasn't just, it wasn't in the way that I think we're used to seeing. It wasn't in the way that I can say that I perceive it. It was in the small things. It was in the little things. It was in the way I view myself. It was in the way I perceived someone. It was in the way I made decisions, the way I make decisions. He was showing me that's pride. And so he's just unfolding. And I'm like, okay, we can stop now. And he just kept unfolding. And I'm like, yo, I do want a lot of pride. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it, start a YouTube channel, that is. And the other reason is because, well, still pride, but to be specific, is because I, studied media and went to school for it. And so I kind of got in my own way and was just like, well, I want to do things on a professional level, not this little YouTube channel that everyone's trying to do, right? Like, that's cute. You're an influencer. That's cute. But I'm a professional. And it's just like, girl, calm down and sit down, all the way down. Because the other part of it too was, I don't like doing what other people are doing. So when everyone's going this way, I'm going the other way. When everyone's like, oh, did you see that one movie? I don't want to go see it. I'm gonna wait. Or when everyone in culture is talking about this thing, I'm like, la 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 la. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be a part of it. I usually go the other way. And sometimes that could be good because I'm protecting my peace and I'm protecting me. And in other ways, that really isn't, because depending on one, we all should be aware of what's happening, right? But the other part is, we're all called to do different things. We're all supposed to be kind of staying in our lane and doing different things. And you can't do that if you don't know what's going on. So, and of course that can sound just like duh, but sometimes when you're in that moment, you're just like, that's just my makeup. That is how I'm built. I do not like doing what everybody else is doing. And when I used to subscribe to Enneagram, I don't anymore. Do I think it was helpful for the time that I used it? Yes, but I don't anymore. And we can get into that later, another episode. But I was considered the original person. You like to be different. You like to be set apart. You like to be considered special, and kind of have your own thing. And I was just like, I guess I am kind of like that. I do like to be different. I've been thrifting before thrifting was a thing. I was a thrifter, okay? I was born into thrifting before it was a thing. I saw thrift stores before I saw a mall, okay? So that was a way of life. It wasn't choice. It wasn't like, let's go get this cute retro look. It was, let's go get clothes for back to school. We not even gonna do that right now. My friends know. The ones who've been around me know what's good. They know what's up. But no, I didn't want to start a YouTube channel. These are some of the reasons why. But here I am. entering into the chat, truly out of obedience. And the other thing is, God was like, I've always called you to do things that look really strange to everybody else. So like my whole life was I can account for every little thing. My whole life has been like doing something that most people will look like, I don't think that's God telling you to do that, sis. Like, I don't think that's him. Or, you sure you should do that? Or, whether they said it verbally or they expressed it with their body language or they insinuated it. It was always kind of, whenever I do something, it was always met with, that's weird, I wouldn't do that, or, whatever. So God has just been like, I've always had you do things that don't make sense. Why would I stop now? And he said those very words to me over and over and over again. And I'm like, I've learned this lesson too many times for you to have to keep convincing me. I trust you. I'm gonna be obedient. Let's do it. Some of the other reasons why I don't want to start a YouTube channel is because of these humble beginnings. This room is very echoey. I'm kind of an audio girl, and this is kind of pissing me off a bit, man. Like, I'm joking, but I'm kind of not. So there's that. And then there's just a lot of things that I would not want this to look like, but it's so funny. I recorded a different video at first, just to kind of, I guess, get the jitters out, or really just to start. And then I was like, okay, the camera stopped recording. Sometimes it'll be like, camera has stopped recording unexpectedly or whatever, and it stopped recording. So that's gonna be like an unsung situation, but I think I'm gonna still post it and maybe just post a cute picture of me so you guys can still hear the audio, because I'm recording the audio. I think I really said a lot of things that I really feel, and nothing's gonna be wasted. Nothing's gonna be wasted, basically, is what I'm saying. But and also, I do a lot of side notes, pivots, squirrel moments. So if that's not your jam, you might have to get another sandwich. But really, I don't. I do a lot of side notes, because they just come to me, and I feel like sometimes they're in that moment that I need to say it. And when they're not, the Holy Spirit will tell me it's not. So, but yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm doing this out of obedience, and I'm also sharing. So let's start with that. But let me also share with you guys why it's named Unpopulr, because I have been unpopular my entire life, and I still am. It's always interesting to me when some people are like, really, you don't seem like, and it's just like, get to know me a little bit longer. You'll see it. There it is. Very unpopular, very different. I've been called weird. I've been called strange. I've been called odd. All the things. It's so funny. The other day I was trying to remember what one of my friends called me. I know a friend, right? That's crazy. But I was in college, and he was just like, and it came to me the other day when somebody else was just like, you're so goofy, or she was like, I'm so goofy, we're so goofy. And I was just like, I know. Remember when such and such used to always call us goofy? And I know that's kind of that at that time, or at least that moment, that person, like, that was supposed to be a diss. And yeah, I am goofy for sure. Like, goof troop all day. Like, what? Get it with the corny jokes. Get it with the corny jokes. Let's go. But then that just made me think of my friend. You know who you are. But then it made me think of my friend, and I was like, what is that name? And it came to me the other day. He used to call me a dork. And that was like a slang literally for like people who just was like a square, right? Just like, yep. I've never been called a square, but I know that people put me in that box. Literally. Literally put me in the square box. I'm a square. But yeah, they called me a dork. And I was just like, that's crazy. I guess I am a dork. And I'm very introspective. So I'm always like trying to kind of correct, like I try to self-correct, and I look at like, okay, what could I have done better in this situation? What could they have done better? And and I've been doing that my whole life. And God is just like, you're not God. Stop trying to correct yourself. Let me do it. I'm here to do that. And that's why some things aren't getting corrected, or they start and don't finish, because you need my strength to do that. You've ran out of yours, and that's why it starts over again, because you ran out of your strength, and you need mine. That's infinite. So, that's why I'm doing Unpopulr. That's why it's named Unpopulr. God gave that to me, and I'm unpopular. I've been unpopular my whole life, and I think a lot of the thoughts and conversations that I have are unpopular as well. Some of them are becoming actually normal and like regular, but they were unpopular for a long time. And I remember one of my old grade school best friends was like, it was something that was being talked about in like it was like 2014 or 13 or something, the teens of the 20s. And there was some conversation happening in culture. And then she was like, you used to talk about this stuff all the time. She was like, this is so you, da 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 da. And I was just like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not tripping. But the thing is, I was tripping. And that's also pride. I was tripping. I'll get into that later, but I wonder, I know people aren't going to like this, but the show is going to be full of that. People aren't going to like this, but I wonder if I went, this is not what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. I went to a HBCU, love my HBCU, love Morgan State University, period, point blank. When people try to come from MSU, when people try to come from Baltimore, a whole different side shows up. Okay, a whole different side. I try to make sure Christ is a part of that, and he is, but there's moments where I'm like, excuse me, I got this, Jesus. And I can't do that. It's not right. But I just get tired of people how, they try to drag us through the mud, and it's not nice. So anyway, I wonder though, if oftentimes, or from my experience, I was thinking about this earlier this year. I wonder if some of my HBCU experience has allowed me to think that being the first is necessary. And as a Christian, I'm a Christian first. I know a lot of people not gonna like that either. I'm a Christian first before I'm a female, before I'm a woman, before I'm black, before I'm Nigerian. I'm a Christian first. And I've had to learn that over the years too. And I'm still learning that. I'm still figuring out what that means for me. But what I had to realize is that, or what I'm thinking, what I'm wondering is, did this HBCU experience put this first in me? Like, I have to be the first at this. And I never uttered those words. I've never thought that. But as I'm thinking about it this past year, y'all, I'm like, there is this competitor in me. When I feel like I got bomb idea, I write it down, I do this, and then boom, I see somebody else with it. I'm like, dang, I wanted to do that. And I get it. We all have those moments, but sometimes I feel like it became a little bit more in me, and it pigeonholed whether or not I'm gonna do something. Anyway, we gonna dive into that. That was supposed to be a quick, little pit stop. Stop at the mart, get some gas, get some, Twizzlers or something. I don't like Twizzlers. Yuck. Red wine all day. But I'm wild, y'all. But really, I'm unpopular, as you can see. And a lot of my conversations growing up, since young, have always been counter. I'm always the one that's like, actually, I think I disagree. Or, they're always kind of having some type of conflict. And then I realized later in life, like, conflict is not a bad thing. We're going to talk about that too. That's a whole other episode. I'm getting excited. I'm getting too excited. But I realize now that there's a reason, and I've known it. It's not even now, but I'm embracing it more now, I should say. That I know that I'm called to have conversations that aren't always pleasant for most people, that aren't always what everyone else is saying, and is counter to culture. And at the end of the day, I have to worry about me and not somebody else. Like, I'm worried about my own business. And what I mean by that is, I said this in my other recording. What I mean by that is, like, not that I'm nosy. I'm minding my own business. I'm worrying about my peace. I'm worried about my heart. I'm worried about me, because I've been worrying about other people for too long. And I need to put my worry in the Lord. I need to think about him first and not other people. And I've been freed from a lot of those different things in terms of people pleasing or worrying about what other people think. But there's layers to it, like with anything, right? There's layers to that. But the thing is, it keeps showing up in different ways. It's almost like the way we reinvent ourselves, or, that concept. The thing that you might be dealing with, or that I was dealing with, will kind of reintroduce itself in a costume. But there's been in the past where I've invited that back in because I didn't recognize it. But now I recognize you. I know that's you behind that mask. No, you're not allowed here. I have power and authority over you. Bye-bye. Peace. So be unto you. But no, for real. I'm realizing now, and embracing it more, that I am fully accepted by the Lord. And so my obedience and my allegiance is to him and him alone, period. And so if he's telling me to start a YouTube channel, regardless of all the things, regardless if I have enough money I wanted lights, I wanted this, I have a whole vision for how I want it. And he's like, just start, just start. And so I said yes. And when he said yes, then he showed me how he wanted it done. And so the other part too of that is timing. And we hear this all the time, especially if you're a believer, if you're a Christian watching this, we hear this all the time. God's timing is everything. As I'm growing in this old age of mine, God's timing is everything, But for real, I think sometimes we think of these sayings that seem so cliche, and a lot of them are so true. As I get older, I'm like, this stuff is real. And then some of them are hidden in half truths and are not true. So there's that, but that's not what we're talking about. But I'm starting this because I want to have conversations with folks that aren't always comfortable, and I want to also just let people know that I get it. So, but just a little bit about me. I used to have a student project called Akata. First it was called the Nigerian Demographic in America. 2008. Woo-wee, that was thick. Sounds like a really thick novel that no one's ever gonna read. A research journal. Yeah, too much. So called Akata, and then I believe it was either in college, or I think it was after college actually, I started a podcast with one of my closest friends called Royal ID, and it was like a radio show. So we would feature, that airplane. I know y'all this girl got ADD. I don't, but that airplane, I want to fix it and I can't fix it. So anyway, I had a podcast called Royal ID. And it was a radio show, and we talked about all the different music that we really liked, especially in Christian hip hop and gospel, different things that have been inspiring us. We did shout outs, we did roll calls, we read scripture, the whole thing. It was it was dope. I think it was a little bit before YouTube started popping. It was definitely before influencers and all that stuff. Then I had a YouTube channel where I spoke with people and did exclusive interviews and talked to people about their purpose and their gifting. And I talked to different people who are regular dead people, and then celebrities. I was blessed enough to be on a red carpet and invited back and things like that. So I had that. And then I also had a so kind of as a extension of Akata, I started to do a docuseries because the conversation is just so broad and there's just so much to talk about. So then I started that, and then I did and then I started an LLC with one of my closest friends, my girl, that's the best friend right there, I'm telling you. Then I started an LLC with her, an affirmation company, where we just wanted to affirm people on apparel. And we also affirmed them in person at events. And then we also then after that, we started a YouTube channel where we did affirmations and just blogged and talked about the blogs that we had. And then we started a podcast where I actually kind of morphed the YouTube channel that I had for Royal ID with I Am, and it was called I Am Royal. And so then we had that, and then I started another podcast called the Akata, 5 Minutes with an Akata. And then then I was like, you know what? I need an umbrella. I want an umbrella for like all the different things I'm about to do with Akata. So then I called that the Akata theory. So I've done a lot of different things, and I've had the pleasure, honestly, of talking to a lot of different people, even outside of my brands and the stuff that I've done, even working for other people. Like I've had some really amazing opportunities. I am blessed. I say it all the time, like, God forbid, because listen, if you do what you want to do, Lord, but like if I died today, I've done so much that I never thought I would do. And we'll get into that. We are definitely going to get into that. I've done things that little Iore never thought she could do. Like, yeah, I've been blessed. I've definitely been fortunate. But there's been a lot of lows too. But yeah, so this isn't necessarily a new thing. My friend was like, you've been doing this stuff. This is just kind of like putting it all together. And really that is what this is. And so for those of you who recognize me from Akata, from that brand, it's not gone. It's just going to live here now. And it's going to take a whole different turn. We're not just going to be talking about the conversation of the relationship between Africans and African Americans. We're going to go a little deeper. Okay. So it's going to get real. It's going to get uncomfortable, but it's going to be necessary. And so what else? I'm excited and terrified all at the same time. It's fun. It's a fun place to be. But no, really, it's freeing, because one thing that someone told me a couple of years ago is that you may be feeling bored with Christianity because you're full. And you now need to pour in, pour out, and you need to share. And I'm like, well, I feel like I do that. And, the conversation continued, but I think that might be what I'm like feeling right now, is just like, I'm letting it out. And maybe that's this discomfort I've been feeling for the last few years is because I haven't been letting it out the way God wants me to let it out. So it's going to be a fun time. I do want to make sure this is super interactive though, because whether it's one view or 1,000, I want to have these conversations for people who are like me, for people who are different, for people who have been called strange, lame, odd, weird. You don't get invited. Like you're not that person. Like people don't even know your name. Or get this. If you are like me and you have been introduced to the same person more than once, multiple times, I feel you. I know what that feels like. It sucks because it's like, we've met already. You don't remember me. Oh, hello again. You don't remember me again. I've told you that we've met. I don't understand why you are thinking that I'm a different person. I'm changing the accents because that's how it feels. Like I'm a different person every time. So anyway, this is what this is. This space is for you. I want to talk to you. I really do. Because, while I hope you like, subscribe, and share, more than anything, I really do hope you understand that you are not alone. You are not the only person. The enemy does such a good job of making people like us, who are really, really different, who really, really are kind of the oddball out. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm different. No. I'm talking uncool, baby. We not cool. We really unpopular. We really don't get invited. We really get seen as strange. We really get looked at. We really get misunderstood often. I'm talking to you. That's who I want to reach. That's who I want to talk to. And I want you to understand, again, if you don't subscribe, just hear this. There is nothing new under the sun. The enemy wants you to think. He wants you to believe that you're the only one. And the sooner he thinks you're the only one, the more and more he gets you away and away from the Lord. The more and more he gets you away and away from the Lord's voice. And then you will then start to think, well, I might as well just off myself. That is a lie in Jesus' name. You are not the only one. You are not the only one. And I'm speaking from experience. I know what that joy feels like. Man, I was even thinking about doing a segment called Swerved, because I've been swerved so many times that it's insulting. And I'm like, wow. And then we're going to talk about the church too. I don't fit in the church. And I thought that I did, and I realized I don't for a long time. We're going to talk about church hurt. In the next couple of episodes, actually, we're going to talk about mental health. And you know, like I said, Akata lives here now, so we gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about Nigeria. We're gonna get into some things, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, and people aren't gonna like it, and some people might like it, but I've been living my life worried too much about what other people think most of my life. So anyway, I hope that you will I've been living my life worried about what other people think for a long time. And while I've been freed from that, there's different levels to it, right? I've been freed from that, but God will show me different parts of my heart and like, yeah, you're still doing it like that. Or it'll kind of like slowly creep back in because it's comfortable, because I'm used to it, right? We all have that thing where we kind of slip back into it. It's like, dang, how did I get back here? I was just thriving. So, yeah. And then part of it too is the enemy. He knows the calling on your life too, right? With all the different things that I just listed, I kid you not, there has always been something like really detrimental that would always happen that would stop that. And in the last couple of months, I had the resources that I wanted. I had the things, I had the people, I had this idea, and everything was coming to life. And my dad passed. There is always something very traumatic and very devastating. I can't even think of the words, but just like there was always something that was interfering and maybe say, you know what, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. And I would always question what I'm supposed to be doing. Have I moved? I think I mentioned that already, but have I moved too fast on things? I've learned that now, yes. But I was still being obedient. Have I moved too slow on things? Yes. And I wasn't being obedient, but I did move too fast on some things. He was saying, yeah, I want you to do this, but this is how I want you to do it. Or, yep, go ahead and start, but then pull back here, and just being in step with him every moment of it. And then moving too slow because of fear. Worried about what everybody else is going to think. Oh, how is it going to sound? Or how is it going to look because of too much. So I have graduated to another level of not giving a care. And I'm thankful for that. I am minding my business. So I really do hope that you will tune in. I hope that you will share with me, even if it's privately. If you want to send me a private message on my Instagram, if you want to send a private message on my Facebook, share with me like, hey, this did resonate with me, or no, sis, that was different. And hey, then this isn't for you. And that's okay. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting journey. And it's for those who are different. It's for those who are unpopular. And yeah, I hope that this I hope you'll come back, and I hope you'll watch, and I hope you'll listen. And yeah, I'll see you next time, y'all. It is different, it is unpopular, but it is on purpose. I'll see you guys next time. Wait. I forgot one more thing, you guys. I know hair change is different. Black, we could do it like that. Okay, that's how black girls do it. I forgot to tell you guys what I'm listening to give you my top 5. Okay. Number 5. And this is hard, okay? Depending on the month, depending on the season, the ranks might change. And then I'll explain the ranking too. So, number 5, Andy Mineo. Absolutely love this guy. Was really cool that I actually got to meet him. He probably won't remember, but got to meet him and tell him how much he's made an impact on my life. So that was cool. Number 4 is Lecrae. Now, we're gonna get into this because I've been rocking with Lecrae when everybody was tripping on him. Listen, let me tell you real quick. When everybody was tripping on Lecrae, when everybody was tripping on Mountain Music, when everybody was tripping on Mary, I was just like, nope. I feel it. These people are people of God. We're human. They go through stuff, blah, 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 blah. Just keep praying for them. Like, I strongly feel for these people, right? So Lecrae, you've always been good in my book, my brother. Number 3 is somebody I felt like I came to kind of later in the game. Like, I knew about him, but I didn't personally really start listening to him on a personal level till later in the game, I feel like. But Belief. Love this dude. Love the creativity. Yeah, I could go on for a little bit when it comes to him. What was that? 3? Number 2 is someone I don't even think is considered a Christian hip-hop artist anymore. But your girl still listens to him. I'm listening to the content that he put out that was considered Christian hip-hop because it did something for me, and it's still doing something for me. You feel me? And that is John Gibbs. Love that brother. Now, his creativity, his artistry is... I love it. I just love how... Yeah. See, this is supposed to be a quick, just top 5. All right. Who's number 1? I know a lot of people are like, well, if it ain't Lecrae, and if it ain't this person, who's number 1? And it's funny because this person has never, I don't know, they just, even though I might not be listening to them every single day, every moment, because to be honest with you, I'm not even listening to a lot of music right now. I'm probably listening to more podcasts. I'm watching shows. Like, I've always loved shows and interviews. I talk about that in the episode, but I'm not really listening to a lot of music right now. But this is still my, top 5 Christian hip hop artists. And the number 1 artist is Aha Gazelle. Sorry. It's Aha. It's Aha for me, okay? It's Aha. It's Aha. I'm sorry. Cool. Like, it's Aha. It's Aha. It's gonna be Aha. I feel like for a while, I don't know. His content, his stuff that he says is always right in step with, like, what's going on with me. Honestly, that's where the top 5 comes from. All of the people that I named, every time I listened to their music, it was always in step with what I'm going through at the moment. So that's really the criteria for my top 5. Personally, it's not just artistry. It's not just how bomb they rap. Like, all of that is included, but it really, more importantly, I've always been lyric over beat. I've always been a lyric over beat kind of a girl. So if those lyrics are speaking to something that I'm going through, good or bad, that's gonna be the thing. Like, yeah, that's how they made it to my top 5. That's how I did it. So I'll do another episode where I explain a little bit more and go into the lyrics. I used to call this kind of a lyrical digest, but yeah, so I'll get into that another time. But I just want to give you guys what I was listening to, but what I'm listening to. That's my top 5. What is yours? I want to know what your top 5, what you're listening to. It could be gospel, and then it could also be Christian hip hop. So what are you listening to? What is your top 5? Bye, y'all.